Awesome.
Good to go?
Yep.
Okay. What just happened to my screen? All right, hold on 1 second.
Second tab, Jackie. There you go.
Okay. Why is it cool?
Slideshow. Slideshow right side. Perfect.
Did it reload?
Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Crazy things that happen on the internet. Well, hi, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, actually. This is Jackie Conley from New England Home Finders, powered by Real Broker LLC. This morning, I wanted to take a couple of minutes and introduce you to Lynn LaFleur. She's my accountant who helps me with all of my taxes, and I've asked her to come on today and share with you some of the different.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry to cut you off. Nobody's watching it anyway. Can you start from this from the top, but this time share in Facebook? It's not sharing in Facebook.
We didn't share with you?
Live on Facebook, I mean.
When I do that, that's when I lose my page.
That's don't do it there. You need to do it on Zoom. You know the bar where it has.
That's where I did it. At the 3 dots, live on Facebook.
So it says. Oh, you gotta hit that.
Perfect. Thank you. There you go.
Alrighty then. All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. This is Jackie Conley from New England Home Finders, powered by Real Broker LLC. I have been in real estate for quite a while, and when I was first in real estate, I really didn't know all of the different tax deductions that I should be taking. And now that I've been in the business 36 years, and I have a fabulous accountant here with us this afternoon, this morning, her name is Lynn LaFleur. She's been with me for about 10 years now. I asked her to help me put together some information to share with other realtors out there, because a lot of us are missing many of the opportunities we have for tax deductions as realtors. And I'm going to ask her to work with us today to go through these slides and share with you guys some of the deductions that you'll be able to take as realtors. And a lot of these isn't just for realtors, it's also for any small businesses. So a lot of these different tips that we're going to be sharing with you today, we'd love for you to take and put them together working with your taxes to make sure that you get the maximum deduction that you can. If any of you aren't working with anybody, of course, we'd love to, introduce you to Lynn, and she can tell you exactly what she does for us. So, Lynn, I'm going to give you the floor if you want to talk a little bit about your presentation here. So let me get my box down at the bottom so I can see.
Okay, good morning, Jackie. Thank you for introducing me. Put together this presentation for realtors, starting basically from the time you think about getting this as your profession, moving into this profession, right on through years of work. So basically the premise is that you really want to minimize your tax liability and keep as much money in your pocket as possible. So when you're first starting out, you need to get your license, and in order to get your license, you need to have an education. You have to take the required education, and that involves an exam, and this is costly. You have to pay for that. So any costs associated with the exam, the education, and paying for these licenses is part of your startup costs and is 100% deductible. In order to run your business, you have to be a member of a realtor association. Up north here, we use the MLS, and those cost membership fees to be associated with. And when you're first starting out, you'll want to get into networking groups to let people know you're out there, which also oftentimes has a fee. So all of those are 100% deductible. In order to run your business, most everything is done on a computer, and you can't live without a cell phone these days. So those two are 100% deductible when you purchase your cell phone new for your business. They're like $1,000 now. You can deduct that. And a printer is very important for signing documents. If you need to bring things to your appointments, you may need a printer and things that go along with that. These are all deductible. Okay, the next slide.
And that's awesome because a lot of the newbies have all of these expenses right out the gate. And so it's nice for them to know that they have the opportunity to be able to get a little bit of that back when they end up doing their taxes.
Absolutely. So in order to let people know you're out there, you're going to need business cards. You got to hand those out whenever you meet anybody. A website, not everybody has a website. Sometimes a realtor will have that for you. Newspaper ads, also magazines, all these things. Sometimes the realtor brokerage will handle this for you. But if you do this on your own, these are also deductible things. Insurance, again, the broker sometimes covers your E&O, but if you do contribute to that, it is deductible. You'll need insurance for your car because you're going to be driving, and most likely you may be putting people in there. I don't know if they still do that, or if, I don't know if people drive people anymore. Maybe you just meet at a site, but you still need to have an automobile, and automobiles need insurance. An umbrella insurance is not necessarily something you will have, but if you do have it, it is another type of insurance that's deductible.
Right, and that's more for people who are getting into investing and probably purchasing other properties. And most brokerages do cover the E&O, but you're definitely going to need to have your own auto policy because, and to me today, I recommend that you don't bring people around in your vehicle. Let them follow you to wherever you're going. You know, the world to me has gotten too crazy, and I don't recommend, especially if they're clients that you don't know personally. I strongly recommend that you just let them follow you to wherever you're going. But one of the things that I'd like to add is in the advertising budget is social media is a big thing today, and you really need to have a presence on all of those sites. And not only do you need to have a presence, you need to do some paid advertising on those sites to bring people in. And it's nice to know that all of those costs are included in the advertising budget that you'll be able to deduct.
Now, talking just about your car, highly recommend getting a mileage tracking book from Staples. These are great little books. They're not expensive. You record your mileage in there because come tax time, you won't remember where you went, how far it was, or anything. And most likely you use your car for personal as well as business. So you'll want to separate the mileage for business from your personal. The rate for this year per mile is 65.5 cents per mile. 99% of the time, mileage is going to be your best deduction. But in case it isn't, for example, if you end up in a car crash or something and your repair and maintenance is really, really high, that could throw you over the 65.5 cents a mile. But I do track for my business too, oil changes, wiper blades, tires. Tires can be expensive in the year you buy them. Anything to do with the automobile, including parking, all these things are deductible for your business.
Can
But
you
again,
do both, or do you have to do one or the other?
you have to do one or the other. You can't do both.
Okay.
One or the other.
And we travel so much, the mileage might end up doing the both. Now, can they decide if they track both? Can they decide at the end which one will give them a better return based on their expenses and their mileage?
Yeah. That's why you track it, to find out which one's going to be better. Yep.
And when they're tracking the mileage, do they just track the mileage that they did for business, or do they need to track both?
Just business. So basically, when you're filling it out, you will enter the total mileage for the year. So it's important to know how many miles you put on your car. But let's say you drove 1,000 miles, but only 250 were for business. You'll have to put the total mileage for the year is 1,000, but your business miles are 250, and the 250 is what the 65.5 cents per mile gets attributed to.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay.
So again, I don't know if this is something that brokerages still do. I don't even know if anybody goes into brokerage offices anymore. This could be really old. But sometimes if you go into a brokerage office, they will charge you a fee, a desk fee, or any other kind of fees in the office, and all of those fees are deductible.
Right, and I'd like to just comment on that. So a lot of offices today have transaction fees, they have monthly fees. Any fee that you pay to your brokerage is a write-off. So make sure you pay it by check. If you pay it by cash, get a receipt, because all of that is stuff that you'll be able to take towards your write-offs.
Oh yeah, if you pay anything by cash, you need a receipt. You have to keep all of that stuff. So that's good suggestion. Thank you, Jackie. Again, under advertising, another thing, signs. You gotta have a sign on your property. Some places don't allow signs. For instance, where I live, they don't allow signs, but in most cases, you'll put a sign on the property, and you may have to buy those, or you will, customize them with your name, or add a little drop down with your name and your phone number, so people know how to contact you. All those expenses are part of your overhead, and they are deductible. When you're in your office, again, things you may not think about, pens. You may need pens to sign your paperwork, folders to keep organized, business card holders, ink for your printer. All your office supplies are all deductible. And when you're doing a listing, you want to have pictures. And some people use professional pictures, videographers, photographers. That cost, again, is deductible.
And I'm also seeing, I don't know if you guys can see this, but today, realtors, we have to do all this other stuff online. So you have to buy all this camera equipment.
Lighting equipment.
Right, and then I got this little microphone to help me so you can hear me better. And, you end up buying all these little gadgets to help your business become better at what you're doing. And just know that all these little pieces that you're buying to try to improve your business and increase your advertising is all a write-off, which is awesome.
Absolutely. So basically, this is about when you're doing the deal, and you've listed the property, and somebody else has sold it, and you have a fee to the other agency. You're going to split that. That's not going to come in as your income. You're not going to consider that as your income. And then if you have a attorney draw anything up, that again, if it's any cost on your side, that will be deductible. Now, you need a place to put your money when you do make your money, and normally that's in a bank account. And banks do charge monthly fees or statement fees or overdraft fees. Hopefully you won't have any of those, but they are deductible. And if you're using any kind of third party to handle, for instance, your escrow or any other type of transfer of the funds, if they charge you a fee, again, that's deductible. If you have a contact management software package, so that's where you keep all of your clients and everything in one handy little place. There's plenty of software programs out there that manage all your connections, and sometimes they charge a fee, which again would be deductible. When you get real big, I guess you'll end up with a website, and you'll want somebody to design that and host it, and you'll have to pay a fee to have a website name and all these things associated with the website. Again, that's all deductible. And along with contact management software, if you did something like an automated email to keep in touch with all your clients, that's also deductible.
And just one little comment that I'd like to make about the account and the bank account information is I strongly recommend to agents to have a separate bank account for their real estate business. It's a lot easier at tax time if you're just using one checking account and one debit account for all of your business, because you're going to end up doing a what is that form called for when you have expenses on your personal. What is that?
Schedule C?
Schedule C. So all of that information needs to go on your Schedule C for all of your expenses for your real estate. So if you've used one checking account and one debit card that is attached to that card, all of your expenses are in one place. So when you go to do your taxes, it's going to be much easier for you to be able to figure out how much income you came in, how much expenses you had, and what is your net profit. And then when you have a net profit, you can transfer it over into your own savings account. But at least this way here, you're going to be able to track so much easier all your expenses versus commingling the funds with your personal funds. Do you agree, Lynn?
Absolutely critical advice. 100% I agree. It's so hard to separate it out. That will make your life so much easier. Absolutely. All right, let's say you don't go into a brokerage, or you have a home office in addition to the brokerage. So in order to deduct a home office, there are some, let's call them rules, that need to be abided by. The room that you work in must be just your office. You can't have a bed in there where your guests sleep. You can't use it for storage for your Christmas presents. It has to be just where you work. It's your desk, your computer, your printer, your chair, your file cabinets, just your office. And once you do that, then you can deduct any of the expenses related to that office. So let's say your office is 1/10 the size of your house, then you would deduct 1/10 of your electricity bill or 1/10 of your gas bill. And if you decide that you needed to paint it, anything that happens in that room, if there's a window broken, all gets deducted as an expense for your home office.
Would
Again,
that include internet?
Yes. That's part of your utilities. You need your internet in order to run your business. That is definitely a utility. Yes. So when you're doing your taxes, you can depreciate that, which is nice because that's not actually money out of your pocket. It's a little bonus. But the only problem with depreciating your home office is when you sell the property, you have to reclaim that depreciation. So you can run the numbers and see if that's something that benefits you or not.
Okay. And so all the repairs and improvements that you need to do in order to make the office functional are deductible.
Right, so if you need to, when you paint it, or like if the window breaks, or if you have a leak in the ceiling, all those things are deductible for that room. Yep.
All right, awesome. Because we're actually looking into the basement, converting a portion of it into a bigger home office. And so that's nice to know that we will be able to write off the cost of setting it all up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so oftentimes realtors go to big events, trainings, seminars. The expenses associated with this are deductible. Your airfare, and now the lovely thing we have with baggage fees. In the old days, we didn't have to pay for our luggage, but now we have to pay to bring luggage with us. And if you check your luggage at the curb, sometimes you'll give the gentleman a tip to check your luggage. Any tips you pay, your hotel costs, any transportation, laundry. When it comes to meals, there's a limitation of what you can deduct, but mostly it's 50% of your meals on travel deductible.
I have a question on that. Last year, due to COVID, they allowed you 100% meal deduction, and it was supposed to end on December 31st. Did it end?
Yeah, I think that's why it's 50% this year.
Okay.
This is for this year. It did end.
Okay, that's sad.
Yep. So if you go away and you need to wash your clothes, you're gone for 2 weeks. You need to do laundry. If you forget your laptop and you need to rent your computer, that's deductible. If you do drive to the event rather than renting a car, all of those expenses we talked about earlier, again, if you need to, buy new wiper blades for your trip, it's deductible. The cost of attendance, well, that's the cost of going to the seminar. And then while you're there, if you purchase any materials while you're there, supplies or books or anything, those are all deductible.
Now, I have a question, and don't laugh at me. I just went on a business trip, and I came back, and they beat up my suitcase, and I had to go and buy a new suitcase. Is that deductible?
I would say that's deductible because you use that suitcase for this trip.
Okay, awesome. Good to know.
I would deduct it anyways. I mean, you're going to use it probably for other trips, but because they ruined it on this one, yeah.
Yeah, they beat it up pretty bad.
Yeah. I'd say that was an expense for this particular trip.
Okay.
So when you do travel, there are, again, rules. Obviously, must be away from home or it wouldn't be considered travel. Must be ordinary, necessary, and not excessive. Must be business related, and you can deduct expenses if you go on a cruise, but the maximum you can deduct is $2,000 per person on a cruise. But because oftentimes you will have seminars on cruises, and I think that's pretty cool. But you are limited there, and usually too, those are all inclusive. But then you got to pay extra for the conference or anything. But maximum you can deduct is $2,000. So if it costs you $2,000 for the cruise, but then it costs you $500 for the airfare, I guess that would be that's yeah,
Not too bad. Much better.
yep. So anyway, this is wrapping it up, and this is just meant to be a guideline. It's not everything all-inclusive. There are other things, for instance, like Jackie pointed out, the internet, things like that. But you must keep good detailed records. You'll never remember everything come April 15th the following year. So getting everything down, writing, keeping good records is a must. That bank account that Jackie mentioned is really a great tip. And the goal basically is to keep as much money in your pocket and be prosperous and successful and happy.
And so this slide will be available for anybody who would like to have a copy of it, so you know exactly what it's out there that you can deduct. And if you'd like to set up a quick consultation with Lynn to find out if, maybe there's a few other things that you might be able to deduct for your business, we'll be sharing her contact information for anybody who requests it. Lynn, thank you very much for your time today. I greatly appreciate all of your help. And
Thanks, Jackie.
we look forward to doing this again. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jackie.
Bye, guys.